Adam here from the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you for a test drive, and this is the 2023 Nissan Ariya. So this is Nissan's second EV model, and what we'll do is we'll look at the interior, some of the exterior stuff, and see if this might be the perfect EV for you. Before we go for a spin around, let's take a look at this particular model. Now, this is the Platinum Plus, which is the e-4ORCE, so this is going to be the all-wheel drive model. But this particular one with the all-wheel drive is going to have a total range when fully charged of 267 miles. Now, this rides on the larger wheels, it's got a little bit bigger battery, but it's got the more horsepower in the all-wheel drive. Like I said, it's kind of all over the place, so the range does vary a little bit. It can go up, obviously, if you just opt for the front-wheel drive model, but I like this one because it's got all the equipment, right? So we wanted to show you this one today to see all of the available options. Now, this one is going to have 389 horsepower, and that's going to be through an 87 kilowatt hour motor. So there's a few different motor options for these. Again, front wheel drive, all-wheel drive, all the different trim levels. We'll kind of look at this one to see all the available stuff you can get. But let's hop inside, we'll go for a spin around. Now, if you haven't spent a lot of time in an EV vehicle, there's not a huge barrier of getting used to it. I mean, park, reverse, neutral, drive, and you're off, right? Same as a standard car. The brakes can be a little different on some of them, and there is an E-step, which is kind of like a one-pedal driving. So if you don't like that, you can just turn it off, and then it's gonna drive like a standard vehicle. And one of the coolest things is all of the technology and all of the good equipment you're getting in this particular model. So in this one, I've got wireless Apple CarPlay. So I paired my phone up. I've got my phone in here, which is wirelessly charging in the armrest. So I don't have to mess with it. Everything I need is gonna be right here on the touchscreen display, and it's really easy, straightforward to use. There's a bunch of other cool stuff in there too. There's something that says driving range. So it's gonna give you a circle. It has nothing to do with golf, but it will give you a circle and let you know, hey, this is how far you can go before you need to charge up. And then it will tell you where a charging station would be. But let's get out on the highway here and talk about ProPilot 2.0. So ProPilot 2.0 is basically Nissan's latest and greatest safety equipment. So I've got a few different drive modes here. So I can go into standard, eco, or there's a snow mode. Obviously with the all-wheel drive model, you're probably gonna be driving in some snow. With the e-4ORCE system, I'd imagine it's pretty good. But now that I'm out on the open road, I can turn on my ProPilot, and then I can set this. And then once I set the ProPilot on, it's basically a hands-free driving system. So I can set 3, 2, or 1 car lengths, and then it will actually kind of start mapping out the traffic on the road, which is really cool. It gives you a peace of mind if you're doing a lot of highway driving. It makes it very comfortable. You can relax a little bit knowing that the vehicle is always monitoring what's going on around you. So from there, the heads-up display is really cool. That's gonna give you all of that information as well. So now that I've got it set, it's gonna show me the traffic moving around. There's a couple different colors, so you can kind of see the blue or the green when if I take my hands off the wheel, it would eventually stop working. So you do still have to hold on, but it's gonna help you out in a pinch. And it's gonna help you kind of relax and know that the vehicle, it's monitoring the lanes, it's monitoring the traffic. Everything is gonna help you try and be as safe as possible when you're on the road. Beyond that, the digital gauge cluster here is really cool. There's a few little arrows, you can kind of go through all the settings. It's gonna give you all of your MPGE, it's gonna show you all of your information, your navigation, your radio stuff. Really cool display there. And again, it's keeping your focus on the road ahead of you, so you're not kind of looking around or messing around with stuff. Now let's talk about the seats for a second. So these are the blue leather. Love it or hate it, I think it's really cool. Some people I've talked to aren't the biggest fan, and obviously there's other options for it as well, but these are going to be ventilated seats. They're heated for the winters, and as well, you also do have a heated steering wheel, which is amazing. One of my favorite features of all time, because when it does get cold, that's a great thing to have. Now this Platinum Plus also has the panoramic sunroof, which really opens it up for the back seat. And then speaking of the back seat, there's a ton of room. So one of the best things about EV vehicles, they no longer have a transmission tunnel. So you can fit 5 adults in this vehicle comfortably, and the person stuck in the middle is gonna have legroom. And those seats are gonna be heated, there's USB chargers back there, so everybody will be happy when you're out on the road. Let's talk about the drive mode. So if I go from eco, standard, and then into sport mode, 389 horsepower is nothing to laugh at. I know Nissan has a history with the GTR lineup of building some awesome sports cars, and you feel that in here. A lot of that weight from the batteries is down low. Obviously, it's a heavy car because of that, but it drives amazing. And with that much horsepower, when you put your foot down, it's almost laughable. I mean, if you're not used to that instant torque, you hear the little spaceship motor wind up, and I mean, you're off and cruising. I knew it was gonna be quick, right? But I wasn't expecting it to be that fast on the road. But with the instant torque and that power, it is a blast to drive. But if you want, just flip it back into standard or eco mode, and then you're cruising along. So with the charging, now there's level 1 or level 2. Level 1 is going to be your standard at-home charging. Level 2 would be those places you see around town where you can pull it and get some extra juice. Are you able to keep this vehicle going from level 1 while you're at home? Yes, if you left it overnight, the vehicle would tell you maybe the designated time that it would take to charge, and sometimes it can be 20 to 30 hours. But if you keep that charge going consistently, I've talked to a handful of people who said, it's fine. Maybe if you're in a pinch and need that extra juice, you stop for 15 to 25 minutes at a level 2 charger, and that will allow you to go back up to 80 to 100%. But for the most part, I mean, if your commute is pretty reasonable and 267 total miles on the all-wheel drive, that's a lot. And if it costs you maybe $50 to $100 a month just to charge this versus a tank of gas every week or less, I mean, it kind of sees a lot of benefit there. But overall, what do I think about the Ariya? I like the interior, all the creature comforts, the equipment. I mean, even the rear view mirrors got the digital camera. The backup camera in here is really good. All of the stuff is what you'd expect from any 2023 model. Plus, I mean, the quiet of the ride and drive, when you're actually out on a smooth piece of road and you're just kind of cruising, it's a very, very comfortable, very smooth vehicle. Beyond that, maybe this is your first EV, maybe you're thinking about getting into an EV vehicle. Once you get out and drive it, I mean, you spend 5 or 10 minutes in the car. It's like any other car, right? You've got all the great equipment, all the comfort you'd expect, and just a quiet, smooth ride. I mean, there's a lot of benefit to looking into an EV vehicle, but just that alone is worth getting out and taking one for a spin and seeing what you think. So that was just a brief look at the Nissan Ariya. Now, if you'd like more information, maybe to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by any one of our Nissan locations. We'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.